video. Those of you who are here might not know, none of us saw the videos before we got here, so it's all a complete surprise. I particularly appreciate Top-Notch Nerd. That's the one that means the most to me, and is probably one of the few parts that's not exaggerated and overblown with regard to my contributions. I want to thank Gary, and of course, thanks for tweeting me out twice in the last 2 days as well. Greatly appreciate that. Always picks me up a few followers every time, so appreciate that. And I'm very grateful for the honor. This is, you know, this is a real honor that means something to me. It's an industry that I grew up in and is in my blood, and I've been part of since I was in college, as the video mentioned, and to be able to ensure that others have those kinds of opportunities and disruptive technologies and innovation that I had in the mid-90s and early 2000s means a lot to me, and it's something I'm honored to do to give back to the country. As an entrepreneur, I've had the opportunity to start several successful companies, a flower company that disrupted the floral supply chain, disintermediating the supply chain, allowing people to send flowers directly from the grower to the end consumer, electronic greeting cards, internet access. So I've been in and around the industry, and also as part of the startup ecosystem as a co-founder of Techstars in Boulder, Colorado, and now expanded to a number of other cities. And it's been exciting to see the progress in startup culture and startup support structures that weren't in place when I was doing startups in the 90s, but are in place for today's entrepreneurs as well. And we welcome today's and tomorrow's success stories to, of course, be future CEA members, among other things. My mission and goal and what I work on in Congress is really human capital issues. I think that the success not only of this industry and technology, but the success of our country depends on the contributions of our people, the knowledge and the creativity of people. And we get that in two ways. One is immigration, which is attracting the best and brightest and hardest working people from across the world to deploy their talents here to make our country stronger. And the other is education, that's growing our own talent here at home. And we need to do much better as a country on both accounts. I'm happy that with regard to immigration, there might be some light in the horizon. The Senate unveiled a plan today that would help attract the people we need to deploy their talents here, grow our economy. I will be very excited to continue to work with both the Senate and the House on passing comprehensive immigration reform here in the 113th Congress. I also do a lot of work on education issues. We need to do a better job in our schools, as well as ensuring the kids have access to community college and have the right skills to have jobs in the economy of the future. The economy is fundamentally different in the 21st century than the 20th century, and our schools need to adapt and change as well. We need to get accountability right, replace what doesn't work in public education, and expand and replicate what works. And we do have examples of what works with every at-risk demographic, and we need to make sure that more kids have those kinds of opportunities so that they can succeed and live upwardly mobile middle-class lifestyles, and also ensure that they can contribute their intellectual capital to the success of the technology industry and our economy as a whole. One of the platforms in Congress that has been a privilege to co-found has been the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Caucus that I founded along with former entrepreneurs, Representative Vern Buchanan, Darrell Issa, and Gary Peters from Michigan. We're working to educate our colleagues on what the federal government can do to stimulate robust job-creating economic growth by ensuring that we have conditions for economic success, removing barriers where they exist, making sure that disruptive technologies are not co-opted by incumbents, as happens all too frequently, and trying to be a voice for a lot of the high-growth companies that compose the membership of CEA. And by the way, you know, it's kind of funny because in the political world I grew up in, which is education, and having served 6 years on the State Board of Education and started 2 charter schools and served as superintendent of 1, the acronym CEA is taken. It actually means Colorado Education Association, which is the Colorado affiliate of NEA. So it still takes me a little bit of effort to get accustomed to this, and when CEA is bandied about our office, one has to examine the context. because we're frequently on the other side of the other CEA. But I do think I'm always on your side, which we're very excited about. I was one of the highlights for me, frankly, in the 112th conference was being able to stop SOPA and PIPA. It was personally fulfilling and exciting for a couple of reasons. One was we didn't know we were going to win. We did not know we were going to win. And frankly, it was very exciting to be able to do that. The second reason it was exciting was bipartisan. It was absolutely incredible to work with colleagues on both sides, Zoe Lofgren, Darrell Issa, Jason Chaffetz. And it took courage on both sides. And I want to say, particularly on the Republican side, that can be harder in the majority sometimes when you have a committee chair against you, but on the minority side as well. And we succeeded at the end of the day, thanks to not only your actions and your activities, but frankly, the engagement of your customers and your consumers in the political process, which fundamentally changed not only the SOPA-PIPA debate, but I believe future debates related to technology in United States Congress. And the work is far from done. I'm closely monitoring efforts with regard to IP law and the Trans-Pacific Partnership, and I encourage you guys to do the same. We're working to increase transparency and also extend representation on the Industry Trade Advisory Committee, ITAC, to a larger group of economic interests other than the traditional incumbent interests that determine our own country's negotiating positions in trade treaties. And I'm happy to say the administration is very cooperative in that, and we're working with them to do that, and we hope to have additional progress soon. I'm also committed to working in a bipartisan way on patent reform and copyright reform in the 113th Congress, finding a way where, frankly, we can reduce the overhang that our patent trolls and patent system create on innovation. And why do we have a patent system? It's to promote innovation. It's to promote innovation. It's a fundamental deal, which is still sound vis-a-vis mechanical inventions, which is that if you invent something, you share with the world how to do it in exchange for having a 17-year exclusive. Well, what is being shared with regard to software patents is frequently not useful to people. And many of them, not all, but many shouldn't be granted in the first place. So we're committed to continuing to work on that issue as well. What's critical is our ongoing effort to educate Congress on technology issues as a driver of employment, technology issues as they affect consumers, which is everybody, technology issues as they affect the economy as a whole. So I am honored to be recognized as a digital patriot, and I look forward to continuing to work with you during my time in Washington serving our country to continue to defend and promote internet freedom and innovation, to spur economic growth, to foster the development of human capital through improving our schools and making sure that our country has access to the best and hardest working and brightest people from across the world, and to enhance our overall competitiveness. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman, for your inspiring remarks. You know, you mentioned one thing, and that is that a lot of the things you have done, and we've talked about, have been bipartisan, and you also mentioned you were surprised by the video. I don't know if any of you noticed, maybe the inside the Beltway people did, but do you know that most of the members of Congress who were praising the other members of Congress in the video were from the other party? That is very rare, and it's very good, and I know from outside Washington we appreciate that. Thank you.